Welcome back. Heading out in a couple of days, tomorrow night, to Savannah, Georgia for the week. And not sure it'll be next Shabbos, but either way, another travel along the way. Another travel along the way. Here we go. So just a few minutes ago, I came back from my bicycle. Usually Fridays I have a try to get a long bicycle ride in, and halfway through, 2/3 of the way through, something shining on the road. Went back. It was a shekel. Hey, found a shekel. And I'm like, oh, a couple years ago in Rockaway, New Jersey, Rabbi mentioned Yaakov, Pachim Katanim, shouldn't leave, you find money, it's important, embrace it, don't waste. So every time I bicycle, every time when I see a shekel or two or something, I pick it up. What the heck? So one shekel, and then literally 30 seconds later, I saw another shekel. So today, two shekels. And again, world's not going to end. World's not going to change because the two shekels not going to save anyone's life. Um, Theoretically, it could have been just sitting there forever on the side of the road on Highway 3 forever. But I took it. I took just a piece of metal shekel on the floor, and I'm going to give it to Tzedakah, God willing, next week after. Put in my bag. This idea to take the chomer, something you find wherever, and trying to becone it, raising it is part of what we're trying to the idea we have for this week. This week we start with Nedarim, Parshas Matos, Nedarim. And you think what the neder does, it's really kind of interesting. You're kind of changing the Torah. You're literally changing the Torah with your words. You're taking something that's totally okay, totally fine, telling mutter in the world, and you're making it usser. So, for example, baseball. Look it, not going to the Mets anymore. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the sanity of someone who's a Mets fan on this podcast today. Okay, you can go to the Met game, No, you make a neder. So you took something that's mutter and you made it usser. So it sounds spiritual. Wow, what tzaddik this guy is. Instead of going to a Met game, he's be machmer. Instead of going to the movies, instead of going to a restaurant, he's just going to sit home and read Tehillim. Instead of vacationing in Wyoming or something, he's just going to go to Bismedrash 24/7. What a tzaddik. He made a neder. Whoa. The problem is, um, the Gemara says, if you do this, you're called a chota. It's like you're building a bama. When the time that bummers are usser, it's like you're making a sacrifice in a place you're not supposed to make a sacrifice. It's not a compliment. Torah doesn't say good for you. The Torah calls him a chota. Calls him a chota. A nazir has to be a korban chatas. So nazir does this. So why are we saying chota? If anything, he's the most frum guy in the world. So the idea Mepharshim talk about is to forbid something, you didn't elevate it. You walled it off. You walled off this experience. There's some inherent kedusha that's in everything. Everything in the world has a little bit of kedusha from Hashem. I can't see it, perhaps. No one could see it. If it wouldn't be there, it would not exist. There's a little bit of inherent kedusha. There's something in this Atlantic League baseball that we got at the game the other year. So by saying something usser, I am not going to tap into that kedusha, and it stays dormant in that piece. If I were to let that shekel on the road, there's a little bit of kedusha that's going to sit there. The job of that shekel was to be used for a good purpose, whether it was buying an energy drink so I can get home, or giving to a poor person, or buying a coffee and make a bracha, and this way I can have a little bit of strength to kind of stay up on the plane and learn a little bit. That's our goal. Our goal is not to run away from things that are homer of materialism. Our goal is to embrace it and to lift it up. That's kind of what we're doing. So we didn't win things over when we make a neder. We're retreating. We're taking the easier way out, and that's not the goal here. Next parsha, maasei, Shevet Reuven and Gad. They go to Moshe, Mikne Rav Hayu, a lot of camels. They got a lot of stuff from Midian, the Battle of Midian, and they want to stay at the other side of the Yarden. And There's 15, 20 psukim of just a shakedown of Moshe, which is the worst thing he can hear. Moshe, who wants to go, can't go. And these people don't want to go. We had Meraglim, we had people who were complaining about the Mitzrayim going to Eretz Yisrael. For 40 years, Moshe heard these complaints. And now, as they're literally days from going, Moshe hears this, and it's probably the most devastating thing. Unfortunately, it's not funny. Most devastating thing that Moshe could come up with. And all the Mepharshim just go bananas over how terrible this is. They care about themselves, and Moshe saying, "No, it's children." And then they're animals. Okay, we understand. You have to fight with your brothers. Yes, we'll do that. So Rav Biederman in his book says, even though they had good intentions, they're the first ones to go to Gullus because they separate from the Shvatim. A lot of Mepharshim. One thing I heard positive, and this past Shabbos, Murray Nayim, one time I heard something positive about Gov and Reuven. And if anyone can hear something also positive, let me know. I don't think I've heard anything positive this in my life, but they wanted to expand the kedusha. They said, listen, it's not just Eretz Yisrael. We could be kadosh. We could be kadosh outside of Eretz Yisrael. Again, this sounded a little bit miraglish. They said, oh, we could stay in the midbar, but their idea was mikne rav. You know something? Hashem gave us a lot of stuff. And you know something? We can actually turn this. We can actually make Kedusha outside of Eretz Yisrael. We could do this. And the Maranayim goes on a nice tangent, talks about that Hashem gives everyone mi'odecha, everyone exactly what they need, whether it's Osher, Chachma, Gvura. It's all from Hashem. Hashem is mi'odecha, meaning every amount is measured off. The rich person, Hashem is in his life. How to deal with giving tzedakah, how to deal with chasing wealth, how to deal with not wasting money. Hashem is in those choices. And then the guy who's struggling, Hashem is in those choices too. What are you spending your money on? You only have X amount of money. Do you give any tzedakah? Are you wasting things? Hashem is in every. Same thing with chachma. Oh my gosh, I'm not so smart. I'm not going to go to shir. Hashem is with you in your area. Hashem gave you exactly how much chachma you're supposed to have. You got to live with that. Maybe you can't go to a Be'iyun shir, go to Bekia shir. Maybe you can't understand Gemara because you forget all the time. I'm not looking at anyone in particular. Um, Go to Hasidus, learn that, get inspiration there. You're not that's not your teva. Go to more pshat, learn the Ramban. Hashem is with everybody in their own level. And Reuven and Gad say more. Mikne Rav Haya. They were ready to turn everything Rav, Mikne Rav, Kinyan for the Rav. Just like an Eved gives everything to the master. That's what Reuven and Gad, their idea was. We have so much cattle. We are ready to give it over to Hashem out of Eretz Yisrael. And there's a Yalkut that says that Lasad Lavo Eretz Yisrael will be like Yerushalayim, and the world will be like Eretz Yisrael in the way that, just like in Eretz Yisrael, people embrace God in a certain way. Around the world, also, people are going to see God much clearer. Lasad Lavo, in the time of the base of Mikdash, we saw God open miracles. It's very clear to us. Lasad Lavo, the same thing. So the idea of spirituality, that everything can be lifted up, won't be an Eretz Yisrael thing. It'll be a world thing. And this is the idea. And even though they get chastised, because without being part of the Jewish people, you can have great intentions, but you're missing something. If you're close to your brothers and you fight with them, then you can stay other side. Without that, you're going to be separated. And unfortunately, that happens. That happened. That happened. And this is where the idea comes together really for us. Every journey along the way, we don't know 42 places before, Hasidic sources say each person is 42 places. They have 10 nisyonos, 42 places. The Jewish people in maasei, 42 places. We don't know what we're doing in each place. This job, this job. I have a shear here. I don't have a shear. I came from a great Jewish community. I'm not a great community now. We don't understand really why God puts us in different places, but there's different tests in each place. The idea is to go to your place, whether it's Savannah, Georgia, or Richmond, Indiana, and find out what's my home or what could I do. I can't go to. There's no minyan in Richmond. I think it's Fanda there is actually, but I can't have my chabura. But let me learn something. Let me do as best I can in my Homer. Let me find the best time I could learn in Savannah and bring Kedusha there. I can't eat or just raw food, but I'm going to make brachos and eat kosher in Savannah, Georgia. And this is the idea. So you don't have to be an Eretz Yisrael. You don't have to be only learning. If anything, in your materialism, that's where you have to kind of find Hashem. It's easy to find God in the Gemara. It's more difficult to find God in the middle of work and as you're traveling and amongst the non-Jews. That's the idea. Um, I was at a bris this week with our friend Jordan, go British Jordan, and he mentioned this idea that I think is really part of this parsha. 42 journeys along the way, as they're going place to place, they had no idea. We have no idea. The 42 places, some of them we have some idea, some of them we have no idea what took place there. And the Jewish people, as they're going 42 places, sometimes they're there for a day, a week, a year, more. But each place they went to, they had the amuna that, you know what, there's a reason why we're here. What tests are happening here? Eating the mun, following Moshe, um, being with my family, close to the Mishkan, learning from Aaron. Each place was different tests and things along the way. And they didn't understand this, but the guy at Yisrael, they were Zocha to be near Yisrael because they went through all these 42 passages, gateways, cities, travels, and that's our job as Jordan's giving us the Torah at the bris, he says, all the places he's been to, you don't appreciate and you don't understand why God puts you in different places. And he was saying how special it was to be here in Beit Shemesh at this bris. All the folks from our Chabura, we have guys, United States, we have England guys, some BTs, and just being together, everyone making Aliyah, all the Anglos together, and being at a bris overlooking the mountain, beautiful weather, sitting at a bris, which is something so special to appreciate that. Even if we don't understand the paths along the way, appreciate the journey. I don't know why I'm in Teaneck or I'm in Savannah, but you know what? Hashem put me here. There's different challenges I'm going to have, different sionis I'm going to have, different things to elevate God with, and appreciate the journey. Appreciate the journey and embrace where you are, embrace your challenges. And with that, Shabbat Shalom from RVS.